Okay, we're going to go over how homing works. Um, First off, we'll get some terms out of the way. This right here is a limit switch. That is the name of the device. It is not the name of the function, it is the name of the device. Okay, what we have set up right here is, we call them homing switches. They are used specifically for homing the machine. There are 3 of them. There is one for the y-axis, one for the x-axis right there, and one for the z-axis right there. How the homing sequence works is, first the z goes up at a slightly higher rate of speed. It touches off. Then it goes down a little ways, backs up just a little ways, and that's all set in the settings. And then it goes up real slowly to touch it. And the slower it goes, the more precise it is, which is why the second touch is needed. And then after the Z hits, then the X and Y seek. That's the first function of it, the first motion, is it will seek both the X and Y switches at the same time. Then once one hits, it'll stop that axis. Let's say that this guy is way over here, and it's going to take a long time to get over here, but this one is close. The Y will stop first. It'll just pause with it completely depressed until this one hits. Then they'll both bounce back and then seek it again slower. So that is the entire homing sequence. What happens when you hit the $H? That is the actual code that is sent. The functionality of that is in Gerbil itself. If we look right here, here are the settings that control homing, as far as what you can change on it. Homing cycle on and off is 22, and in order to have soft limits, you have to home. It needs to find a consistent machine zero, which is what homing does, in order to use soft limits. Soft limits, though, are another topic. So here is the homing cycle on and off, followed by the direction. $23 should always equal 3 if your switches are on the front, left, and top of your axis here. Okay, so that's what $3, that's the position. So no matter what your direction mask is, which is up here, $23 should always be 3. Alright, then we have the homing feed and the homing seek. Now the homing seek is the fast one. Okay, that's the one where it's just looking for that first hit. And then the homing feed is the final touch off, when it's going to actually hit the switch and take that as the point 0. This right here, homing pull off. Let's say that you are having errors where it says that there's something in the way or it's jamming. Typically this starts at 1, and you'll have to increase this distance to get the debounce far enough away that it can reset all 3 switches. That's what you're looking for, or at least and that will clear up that error. Alright, now the next one up is the pull off distance, and oh no, that's it. That's all of them. Sorry, my mother came in, so I had to pause the video. Got a little distracted there. Alright, next up we are going to run a homing cycle, and you'll see how it works. Okay, first thing you do when you have homing active, when you open the connection, it should go into an alarm state. And it's going into that alarm state because it's looking for a homing cycle. Okay? That's the first thing to do to unlock it, because without that, with homing active, it doesn't know where machine 0 is, and that's the first thing we need to do. If you did not have homing active, machine 0 would be wherever you turn on the machine and connect to the COM port, wherever the spindle is. That's 0, which is not consistent because you can move it around anywhere. Alright, so we're going to run the homing cycle, and you'll see Z go up first. Let's see if I can actually hit it. That's okay. Helps to have the machine on. Alright, here we go. Z went up first. Now it's doing the 25 millimeters a minute. Now X and Y together, and that's that. So what I'm going to do here, I want to show you guys, if you guys are having some issues with the switches, trying to figure out if they work or not, there's a way to manually do that. Okay, what I suggest is moving the X and Y back a ways. Okay, and then the Z down a ways. Okay, we'll see if I can do this with one hand. I don't know that I'll be able to. It'll probably error because I'm not going to be able to hit the X and Y without setting down the phone. But I'll at least be able to show you the Z. Let's start with that. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to hit the homing cycle, and that Z is going to go up. Now remember, there's two hits. There is the first hit, which is at a higher rate of speed, and then there's a second hit. So if you're testing out your switches by manually hitting these the buttons right here, you have to do both hits or you will not get a full cycle. So when I hit home and I go up here, I'm gonna press that. Okay, now it errored because I didn't hold it down long enough. So you have to do the timing right too. So that's really a hard part to do, but this is one way to test it. Okay, let's try it one more time. Let's see here. Okay, did you hear it? It did both times. Now I didn't do the timing right for the second time well enough to get it, but that's one way to at least see if your switch is even making a connection to gerbil itself. The other way, there are ways to do it to get it to read out in gerbil here. Let's see. Oh, there was another good little lesson for you to see. If you open the port and then hit homing, okay, before it actually loads and goes into alarm state, it'll say no supported homing method for this version. You have to allow it to fully load and go into alarm state, then you can hit home. And again, hits off. So your off has to be very quick. Here, I'll do it with this one here. You can see. So now I'm holding it because that's what would have happened. If I let go right now, it'll error again. Okay. So now we're waiting for the X to get over, but I'm holding the Y. And you'll see what happens. I still might error it out with the second hit, but we'll see if I can do it. There's another way to do it via gerbil setting. I'll try to go over that in another video. Okay, I errored it out because I held that button too long and it didn't do bounce. But anyways, you can see that there are different methods of testing switches, see if they work, besides a multimeter. But there's a little rundown, sorry it's a little long video, of how homing switches work.